Welcome to Fail Disclosure.
What is your fail?
Oh, gentlemen, great hold music. So 10 years ago, 2010, way back in the day, my firm was working on all these like fancy golf course tours where we'd shoot all these high-res photos and we'd get all the behind the scenes and we'd get to do all of the sort of things that like you would want to look at before you either go to a course or buy a membership or whatever.
Okay.
We got invited out to one of the fanciest courses in California, in the country. It's like $100+ million golf course. These guys take themselves super seriously. They flew us out there on a tiny plane, spent days out there, did the whole thing. They were under immense time pressure because they had a really big tournament that was going to be there at the end of that month. So, like you guys know, you've run agencies. Everybody thinks their project is the most important thing in the world. It's got to get done immediately.
Yes.
And your whole team has nothing else to do, and they need to work on just that project. Yep. So we cleared the decks, got everybody cranking, just stitching stuff together, writing code, just crushing it. And then finally, the week before the tournament, we shipped this massive tour to these guys. Did a little bit of QA, but
and you're really excited, I'm sure, right? Like this is a big deal. You just nailed it.
We're so excited. It was like the coolest thing, right? And like we were like, oh my god, like Arnold Palmer's gonna see this. All these other cool golfers are gonna see this.
No, they're gonna love us. They're all gonna hire us.
Is this like the digital photos, or is it like the digital photos or the printed materials? Like what was the deliverable?
It's like full interactive software. So it went on their website publicly.
Okay. Yeah,
they had a private version that was like just for VIPs. It was like huge gigapixel photos.
Oh no!
Okay.
Like
my gut's already hurting. I'm already nervous.
All right, so you send it away, right? Okay.
And so we ship it out to them. Super excited, really proud of the work we did. Everything looked beautiful. And then essentially, like, team breaks for the weekend. We're like, dude, great work, everybody. Dip out, on a Friday. Fast forward 2 days from then, when they initially received it, they were super excited. They gave us all sorts of props,
Nice.
Digital cheers, that kind of stuff. So Sunday afternoon, the day that they have that tournament, and there are all those people out there doing the thing, I'm out either, I don't know what it was, like biking or something, but I was away from my phone for like a couple hours. And I get back to my phone, and I see that I have 4 missed calls, not from the normal contact, the general manager of this whole club, but from the old, extremely wealthy, powerful owner of this golf club.
Oh, no.
You probably thought he was like
Never
calling to
called
say,
me.
good job. Well, actually, 4 missed calls. Something's wrong. 1 missed call.
If I would have seen it was just 1 missed call, it would have been like, oh, this guy's calling to give us props.
Yeah.
That cool. But when I saw there was 4, I was like, wow, this is going to be a little gnarly.
Oh, boy.
He had also left a voicemail, but I did not even check the voicemail. I just called my man. Mind
Okay.
you, I've had 2 conversations with him. Good old boy, shake some hands kind of conversation.
You call that man.
Yeah.
Okay. So you call him back and you have no idea what's up at this point. You're like, something messed up.
I'm there standing next to the car, all sweaty, and I call him back with a smile on my face, like, hey, how are things going? How's the tournament? And he cut me off immediately and was livid.
Oh.
I could, just straight up yelling at me.
Just feel it.
Ultimately, he let me know that apparently one of our team members, an engineer who is still one of my closest friends, as a joke, put in the phrase deep in the tour. So it wasn't something right up at the front, but deep in the tour, there are a couple very high profile kind of behind the scenes areas. And he labeled those areas in big, bold type, VIP bitches.
Oh.
And so apparently, as all of these heavy hitters came into this tournament and they were showing off this tour, some people found it before the other people who owned the course found it. And they showed it to somebody else, who showed it to somebody else, who showed it to somebody else. And eventually, all of the board of directors of this place had seen that there's a VIP bitches.
It's so good, but it's so bad. It like kind of
I'm really proud of the developer, and I'm also like, that son of a bitch.
Like it sucks now, but like it's such a good long-term story, but it's so awful in the moment.
What did you say?
And of course, I'm just trying to say, I'm so sorry. It's not an oversight. We could get it. And all he could do was tell me, you're a child. Your firm is filled with children. You think this is funny? You've embarrassed me in front of people and whatever. Dude was not having any explanation at all. Essentially was saying, you need to get this done, fixed, reship it, do the thing, update our website, everything within the next, whatever hours the tournament's going on. And so, obviously we came correct. We got our boy out of his house, called him immediately. He dialed in. We did the thing. We got it done. But needless to say, our relationship with that particular golf course was not positive.
Done.
It's so good. I have so many questions, but like, I guess my main question is like, but why? Like,
why did
he know it was going to be seen by everybody, or he forgot to get rid of it, or he was like, it was
too rushed. It was too rushed. It was like one of those things where like, people are putting in all-nighters together, like teams cranking. We're like stitching interpolated 3-dimensional spheres of 10 gigapixel images together. You got to do something to break the monotony and
your
like
brain's like
make
half
it kind of
functioning
fun.
and
and it's just there are like hundreds and hundreds of hot spots in different rooms, different connect. Every single golf hole, like you had like 4 or 5 different panoramas that were connected to each other. So it's just I ultimately had to laugh about it. The QA is not on the engineers, right? We were a small enough, scrappy enough firm, so we didn't have somebody doing pure QA. But easily one of the biggest fails.
Did you get paid?
Thought you guys not even said.
Did you get paid?
Sorry?
Did you get paid?
Oh, of course.
Oh, that's a good story. That's a good story.
Somehow.
It's so good.
Yeah, but my buddy and I, we still laugh about it today, so there's no lasting psychological damage, but I'm pretty sure if that owner ever saw me in public, he would just look right through me and keep on walking.
Just look at him and go, gaga goo goo, and then just keep walking.
But in the moment though, it's like when something like that happens and like that's your whole world. That's all you know. It's like, this was our biggest shot and we just, fumbled it or whatever over something totally stupid.
Yes.
I mean, I have to imagine that your developer was like, just went white and was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I just ruined everything.
I mean, quite frankly, the developer laughed at me when I told him about it. He was like, oh.
Yeah, because he didn't get the call, right?
Yeah.
He didn't get the call. You should just pass the phone.
And he does not thinking big picture. I'm sure he's thinking about.
He was able to laugh about it and still think it was really funny. And then, he came correct and he jumped on, did the thing. But I would say, to your point, in that moment, as the owner of this firm, thinking about everybody's payroll and taking care of all the shop and whatever, and that this was an industry in which we were, growing really substantially at the time. And I just thought this guy was just it's over, It's done.
I think also, I think if you've worked in the weeds and worked on those projects, like a lot of people can relate to it. And to this day, there's been a handful of those, nothing close to that. So I'm so happy to get a story where I'm like, I don't know where this is going.
Yes.
I would have never guessed that in a million years. But, to this day, if there's any inside joke like that or whatever, I'm like the shitty, CEO. It's like, just don't. You never know what's going to happen or whatever. But I will say, in a former company that I worked at, I was joking around with the designer and I was like, you should turn that guy's nose into a dick. And he kind of curled up the nostril. And then from that point on, he put every single animation that had some sort of a character, there was a dick nose in it, but it was perfect where you couldn't tell. Yeah. So it was I'd be like, oh, where's the dick nose? And then it was just that fine line of you would never be able to tell, but it was definitely a dick.
But if you knew, then you knew.
Yeah. That would have been so much better if it would have been encrypted and you could only see it if you had a certain AR code.
Oh man, but, that's with developers. I'm there's all the marking code and leaving their signature and whatever. I'm I don't want to know. They'll be chuckling about something or somebody's making some sort of digital currency and I'm just don't tell me. I'd rather rather be
Don't tell me,
oblivious.
guys.
Yeah.
Too much liability.
Yeah.
Well, what's
That is
also
awesome.
funny about that story is just that it's the industry itself. Like
Yeah.
golf, like at that level, it's like
Yes.
no jokes.
Yes.
Like the amount of pastels,
Yeah.
like it's just, thinking about the fact that there's like billions of dollars, there's probably like 20 jets, within a small Bentley ride away from that place. Everybody takes themselves so dead seriously. It's like a tournament when every blade of grass is manicured
Yes,
for the
so perfect.
hyper judgmental group of people that are going to be there. And this scrappy group of people from wherever we're from, I'll keep it in,
Yeah.
had to be the fly in that otherwise perfect.
The dirty, you're the
yeah.
you're the dirty team that doesn't from this world, and you
man.
made a smear as you came in and out of it.
Indeed.
It's like
Indeed.
walking into
But, thank
it's
you,
like walking
gentlemen.
into Gucci and just wiping a booger on a coat. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna say
and
I've done
not
that before.
being a rapper, right?
Right. That was great.
And not actually buying all their stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But gentlemen, I appreciate you guys giving this forum to other entrepreneurs and other people. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Hey,
It was
thank you.
a great story.
Good
and
story.
I look forward to hearing it on the podcast. So have a good one, man.
VIP bitches.
Later,
All right,
bitches.
Peace. Be happy, bitches.